NPIP principle number 5, personnel, requires that you provide a standard operating procedure, or SOP, and have a listing of personal protective equipment you have available for site-dedicated personnel, and a separate SOP and listing of PPE available that you have for non-farm personnel. Site-dedicated personnel includes those people who are in charge of doing the daily care and management of your animals that you have on site and of the buildings. Non-farm personnel would include any service technicians, veterinarians who might be making visits, utility and other service people, and if you're a contract grower, anybody from the company with which you contract with that might make infrequent visits but still are entering and exiting your barns. Examples of personal protective equipment that you need to list and have available may include coveralls or lab coats that you can don and doff prior to entering and exiting the buildings, rubber boots or disposable booties, respirators if that's something that is of concern for you and your employees, and disposable gloves. Those are just some examples. You will know what you use on your property and what you have available. In addition to providing the standard operating procedures and a listing of the personal protective equipment you have, you also, for the audit, need to describe the procedures that you have in place in order to minimize disease risk for transmission for employees who are coming back to your farm after they've been waterfowl hunting or have had other types of contact with wild birds, or if they've had any contact with backyard poultry, whether at their friends and neighbors' homes, or if they have a pet bird, or any other types of contact with poultry. Please list and have those procedures described on how you at your farm will minimize that disease transmission risk. In addition to your protocols, the training records that we discussed in principle number 2 are going to help you be able to verify that the people entering and exiting your property have been properly trained on the specific protocols you have in place. Also, having a logbook in your barn entry will also help you keep track of the personnel that are entering and exiting your barns. Principle number 5, personnel. Have standard operating procedures and a listing of personal protective equipment available for your site-dedicated personnel and your non-farm personnel. Also, have procedures in place and a description of them that help you mitigate risk for those people entering your property who have possibly had exposure to other types of birds. In addition to these requirements, also ensure that your training records are kept up to date and that you have a logbook recording who is entering and exiting your barns.